fell in love with her soft lips. Cute eyes with thick shape and soft hips. Got to walk like models on runway. Mountain fee and I don't care if it's wrong way. But wait, put some respect on this babe boy. I go marry you and I don't care if you don't boy. Me? I put your ex on the wrong boy.
It's NIMA reality TV show. Stay glued on your TV screens.
When I saw you, I thought today is rag day. Tell us, why are you so different in your attire? Did you take permission from captain before putting out blue shirts? The instruction says all white sportswear. Uniformity is a mark of unity. It's also a mark of identity. And that's what we want to achieve with the all-white sportswear. The captain would no longer tolerate anyone appearing for aerobics without the recommended all-white attire. Is that understood? If you know your dress is not all white and is not plain white, please step out now. At the center of the floor, not resting on any chairs, Ben sits out on the floor. The captain has made up his mind on a punishment for the 18 of you sitting on the floor. The music you just heard now will be your punishment. Whenever you hear this music play, wherever you are, those of you sitting, leave whatever you are doing, come to the lounge and start dancing. And you know what it means? Another strike, you are out of the house. If you receive up to 3 strikes, you will be out of the house. Discipline is key to the concept of this brand. And the captain, as the one in charge of the vessel, will not condone indiscipline on board a vessel. Is that understood? You may sit now. Hello, ambassadors. Today is Tuesday, and the debate and speech group will make a presentation tonight. Prepare yourself very well for the head of house task. The winner of the head of house task will reign for 3 days, and the winner will have the right to appoint a deputy. And the head of house and the deputy have a reserved room for themselves.
You were the one that mentioned my name. He mentioned my name.
Tamara, now this is an allegation by me. Now, do you believe I will do that? No, that's not my person. No, I'm not like that. I would never.
He did it.
See,
He did it.
I felt bad. See, I know. He knows I'm
Melvino.
It's NIMA reality TV show. Stay glued on your TV screens.
The all standing. You are about to begin the head of house task. And the head of house task is a game of chance. In this task, a treasure and the symbol of authority has been hidden somewhere in the house. Whoever finds it wins the head of house task automatically. The search begins now. What you hold is a staff of office, a symbol of authority as head of house. On no account should you draw it out. It's not a walking stick. It's a symbol of power and authority.
King Shipping Trading Maritime Services Limited is a global maritime services provider with 11 physical branches all over West Africa. We provide services to ship owners and our customers in West Africa. Our head office is at number 27 Corporate Road, Apapa, Lagos, Nigeria. Our services are ship chandling, shipping agencies, husbandry services, underwater supply, bunker services, diesel supplies, and logistics. We're also members of the following organizations: IMPA, NIMA, WCA, JC Trends, ISSA, Lloyd's Register, ISO, ShipServe, and IMO. For more information, please visit our website at www.kingshippingtrading.com or call the number 081-670-69828. King Shipping Trading Maritime Services Limited, we are the lead.
All ambassadors proceed to the lounge for your presentation immediately.
Where do you want to sit down? Here, here. I think we'll sit down. Anyway, yeah. Sit down. Please, just come.
But today go choke.
Wow. I know.
Why you not got to nobody will sit down.
Okay, what else? These two people will sit here.
Okay, the debaters are please don't move. I'm not to sit down so that we, the audience, will not sit down.
The audience will sit at
At the back.
Not that one.
Don't say something.
It's NIMA Reality TV Show. Stay glued on your TV screens.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the panels, the captain. I am Winnie, the representative of the speech and debate presentation. And here with me is a very beautiful honor, my co-anchor, and this is the Nigerian Maritime Today. And with me, we have the smiling faces and beautiful faces of our panels, who will be sharing their views and opinions on the challenges facing the maritime industry today, cutting across all other sectors of the Nigerian industry. So please sit back, relax, enjoy, and learn. And yes, prepare questions. Thank you. So let's meet our guests. Over to you, Onome.
Thank you so much, Winnie. Once again, welcome to the edition. Welcome to another edition of the Nigerian Maritime Today. Quickly, I'll be introducing our guests. I would like you to do us the honors by giving them a round of applause as I give the introduction. First off, we have Kayode, Kelly, Wilson, Ruth, CJ, Meryl, Vicky, Austin, and Junior. Thank you so much, everyone. Before we proceed, we understand that there are various challenges facing the Nigerian maritime industry today. One of them is the insecurity challenge. This cuts across job insecurity, health insecurity, and lots more. Kayode will be buttressing more on that. Please let's listen and enjoy. Kayode, over to you.
As we said, I'm going to talk about the insecurity or the challenges of maritime industry. But before we go, I'm going to bring out my point on challenges or insecurity in maritime industry. Firstly, we don't know that there's insecurity, there's a lot of insecurity in maritime industry today, which our governments or our leaders they didn't make emphasis on it, and it's affecting insecurity in Nigeria's industry today. So firstly, I will let you know what is insecurity in maritime industry. What's insecurity in maritime industry? Insecurity in maritime industry refers as a harmful or threat or occurrence that is negatively affects the life and property at sea. Now I'm going to let you know the problem and causes and solution that brought the topic. When we are talking about the causes of insecurity in maritime industry, the causes that affect insecurity in maritime industry, number one, lack of infrastructure and maintenance, which results to a death of a personnel. When we are talking about the lack of infrastructure, which means we have to have enough security on board so that they can protect and guide the vessel whenever it's moving from one port to another. So now I'm going to talk about the problem. When we are talking about the problem of insecurity in maritime industry, number one problem is inadequate or insufficient safety security apparatus. Now when we are talking about the solution of insecurity in maritime industry, one of the solutions is that our governments need to provide enough security on board vessels so that our vessel can move from one port to another safely. Thank you for having me, my friend.
Thank you. That was a very brilliant one, Kayode. I would want you to explain further how efficiently you think the government can tackle job insecurity in Nigerian maritime industry.
Concerning the question, the only thing that our government needs to do is to provide more job opportunity, because most of our fellow members, our fellow students, many of them feel like, okay, the best way to go is to go into a maritime industry, but at the end of the day they get forehand because there's not enough job and there's not enough work for them on ground. So many of them, at the end of the day, they become pirates on board ship or they become bandits in the street. So I will advise our government to provide enough job for our fellow members or our fellow cadets in the house or in school. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Onome.
You're welcome.
Introducing the very beautiful V. Here with me, I have management. So V, can you tell us how can management be a challenge and how can it be effective?
Thank you so much, Ms. Winnie, and thank you so much, Ms. Anome. I'm here to talk about management. As we all know, each and every one of us have different meanings what management is. But in my own definition, I'm going to define what management is. And I'm also going to talk about the features of management, and I'm also going to talk about the importance of management. Now, the definition of management, it's an act of planning, directing, organizing, coordinating, and arranging activities effectively and efficiently in an organization. Now, these are the features of management. Number one, the planning. In any organization, there must be a planning. They must plan. Without planning, the organization cannot move forward, cannot have anything. Then the second feature is the budgeting. Now, there must have a state of budgeting in any organization, because without budgeting, the organization cannot move well. And then communication. There must be communication in any organization. When you communicate, you will be able to pass a message to your co-workers or to those that are working for you. And there's also what we call organizing. They all must be organized. In any organization that is not organized, we all know the risk it stands when there is no organization, when the organization is not organized. And then the time management. It is very, very important that there must be time management. Each and every one of us here know what time is to either our customers, to anybody that we are working for. Now, the importance of this management, what does it do? The importance is that it helps to ensure that goals and objectives are achieved successfully. And then the second importance is that it creates a better working environment and encourage mutual understanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. B. But before you go, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is your advice to ship owners, crew members as regards management in the maritime industry?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Winnie. The advice I'll have to any organization, be it the maritime sector or any firm, is that they should be able to keep to time. The time management, there should be a good planning. It should be organized. There should be communication amongst themselves. With this, they will be able to move their organization, their sectors to a better level. Thank you very much.
Now, this takes us to our next issue, the issue of risk management in business. Ms. Kelly, what do you have for us?
Thank you for having me on your show. You're welcome. I'll be talking to us about the business risk or risk in business. Before we dive into the risk in business, we have to understand what business is all about. Business simply means the art of buying and selling. Then what is risk? Risk is hazard or things that causes damage or harm to life and goods. Then few factors or things that cause risk in business. The number one point is inadequate market survey. Before you venture into any business, you have to do a proper or adequate market survey. That's to say that you need to know what the business is all about. Some people dive into business without knowing what it's all about because they see people in the business. They'll just dive into the business. You have to do an adequate market survey before you venture into any business. Then another factor that causes risk in business is lack of funds. When you don't have enough funds for the business, it actually causes risk in the business. Then another thing to consider is location. When you want to venture into any business, you have to look for a good location. There are some certain business you can't do in certain location. For instance, opening a cosmetic shop in a remote area. They don't even know what it is. They don't have money for it. So for your business to move, you have to consider the location. Another point is employment of unqualified or trained personnel in the business. You have to employ people that are qualified or trained for the business to move forward. Employing people that are not qualified or trained in a business actually runs the business down. They don't know what the business is all about. They don't know anything about the business. Then how to solve it? Before you venture into any business, you have to employ qualified people to handle the business to avoid running the business down. Then another thing is accessibility of the business location. There are some business you can't access just because of the way or where it is. So before you venture into any business, you have to make it accessible to the people around. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is unqualified personnel a problem in the maritime industry, especially on board a vessel?
Okay, how there are problems in the maritime industry, that's unprofessional personnel. Employing an unprofessional or trained personnel in the maritime industry, it can lead to sinking, grinding, explosion, or negligence that can cause harm to the board of vessel.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kelly. We now understand that employing unqualified personnel can cause casualties on board a vessel. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ms.
Thank you so much, Winnie. We've heard wonderfully from all of our guest speakers. But there is something very important we have to understand. When it comes to the maritime industry, we know that there are cadets on board a vessel. These cadets have to be trained. But do you know these cadets face challenges? Well, Wilson, please explain to us the challenges faced by cadets on board a vessel or even on shore. Thank you.
Thank you, Onome, for having me to the show. Great the house. So, firstly, I'm going to explain who a cadet is in a layman's term. A cadet is a personnel on board a vessel who is under training, be it a deck cadet or a marine engineering cadet, who are liable to, like, for their duration, the minimum duration is 12 months, but you can go further more than 12 months. It can be 18 months, it can be 12. So I'm going to go into the challenges. One of the challenges, I'm going to express my own life experience first, because if I didn't say that, it won't be part of my challenges. So one challenge I have in the maritime industry, that was the reason why I have not been on board, and I'm supposed to have been on board since last year. I didn't have the money for the certificate. The certificates are costly. That is one challenge. If the high top agencies can bring the certificate costs to our level, it will make sense. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes.
It will make sense, like it will give them, it will even encourage more youths in Nigeria to venture into the maritime academy. Because at first, we will have the joy that, okay, we are going to the school, there is job waiting for us outside. But unfortunately, you finish the school, you are now waiting for placement, we are now looking for money to build yourself, to make, I don't understand. But we have a lot of challenges. I'll be making mention of 3. The second one is, most cadets in this, like today in Nigeria, they complain more about discharge, which the NIMA gives, and that is not supposed to be like that. I have a friend that said, Joel, counter this, counter this, counter this. He was the one that gave me the point that discharge book is very difficult for them. So when we go to the NIMA, they will tell them, go to the headquarters. The discharge book is supposed to be around 12,000, let's say 12,000 to 20,000. You will go to the headquarters, they will tell you 50,000. Is that supposed to be, like, are we supposed to hear that? No. The third point is no placement, that I have already said earlier in my life experience. So I think the agencies, they are supposed to look into this to see what they can do, so that we the youths, we the Nigerian youths, we will have the zeal to go into the maritime and say, okay, well, as I'm coming out, there is job, there is assurance that we are going to get the job. Thank you very much.
That's a very brilliant one. Without wasting much time, we understand that the maritime industry is dominated by the male figure. We have women, but we have very few women doing great things in the maritime industry. Ruth will be talking about sexual harassment. Do you feel that women are marginalized in the maritime industry? Do you feel that women need to be given more opportunities and the spotlight to do more? Let's hear from Ruth about sexual harassment in the maritime industry. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you very much, Onome, and thank you, Winnie. I am glad to be here. Okay, to talk about the sexual harassment in maritime industry, I would first of all like to talk about what is sexual harassment. For me, sexual harassment is, trying to force your sexual desire on an opposite sex, be it a male or a female. Now, bringing it down to the maritime industry, we have a lot of things like that happening there. Let me give an example of an officer, or let me give an example of a female gender trying to get a job with the maritime industry. And then you find a scenario where the officer is sexually harassing the young female lady that is applying for the job in the name of giving her the job. Do you understand? The person trying to sexually harass her, to cajole her, to make her, have fun with us, things like that, to give her that job. That is one problem we face. You also see a scenario where you are already working there as a female personnel, and then there is a senior officer who is sexually trying to harass that female officer to be able to give her probably promotion or increment in her salary, which is not supposed to be so. There shouldn't be this. In the maritime industry, there is this gender discrimination between the men and the female. We shouldn't be so. Women can do a lot of things, beautiful things, good things, but we need to be given opportunities to express ourselves, so that we don't find ourselves in a position where we are faced with this kind of issues.
Thank you so much. But before you leave, I want you to help us understand better. You would agree with me, women are not the only ones being sexually harassed, right?
Yes.
All right. So, what would you say in the case of men being sexually harassed in this industry? Do you think it's possible?
Of course, sure. It's very possible that a female will harass a male. Probably she wants to get something from a senior officer. She can try to sexually harass the male officer. Do you understand? A female sexually harassing the male officer. Do you understand? Now, when we are talking about these issues of sexual harassment, we are not asking that we want to be equal. We are not saying that female should be equal with the male. We are not saying that we believing in that cliche that says a woman can do what a man can do. That is not what we are requesting for. What we are requesting for actually, it is gender equity. We want a female to be given a voice. We have great female in the industry. We have the likes of Okujo. We have the likes of Stella, from the aviation. Do you understand? So women can really do a lot of things in our society, but we need to be given that opportunity. We need to be given that privilege to express ourselves, to give back to the society, to bless the society with the investment of our personality.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Women in the maritime industry are really doing great. For one, I can say that Dr. Felicia Mogo is doing absolutely wonderfully well. So I think it's a good thing for us to emulate these people who are already there, who are doing great. Even as men and as women, we can emulate from one another. Together, we can do better. But before we continue, I would want a male and a female amongst our audience to please ask a question. You've heard wonderfully well from our guests. What do you think you've not heard from them that you would like to hear? If you have a question, please signify. All right, so without wasting much time, we move on to the next speaker. Winnie, over to you.
Thank you so much, Onome.
You're welcome.
Marine engineering is a big sector under the maritime industry. CJ, can you kindly tell us what are the ups and downs of marine engineering and how to improve on their shortcomings. You have the floor.
Alright, so thank you my uncle and my co-uncle. Hello ladies and gentlemen. So I'm here to elaborate on the challenges facing the marine engineers. So actually we have lots of challenges facing the marine engineers, but I'd like to mention but a few. So firstly, I would like to ask, who is a marine engineer? A marine engineer on board a vessel is a skilled and qualified personnel who is responsible for the activities in the engine room and also tackles the mechanical and electrical faults on board the vessel. So definitely I will give you the challenges we face in or on board the vessel. So firstly, we have lack of adequate facilities in the engine room. So like I've worked on board and some owners actually provide adequate facilities in the engine room, which in turn result to low output in the engines or low performance in the vessel entirely. So number two, like my co-speaker Wilson rightly said, the high cost of acquiring certificates in the maritime industry. So as you all know, not just cadets, because we were once cadets, so they are actually costly certificates which actually hard to get. So number three, we have discrimination due to the color of our skin. I don't know if you've worked in a company where you have whites and blacks. We're actually being underpaid because they perceive us to be black and non-technical, which is actually false. I know so many skilled marine engineers which actually go abroad to get certified, but actually underpaid because of the color of our skin. I don't know if you can relate, and it's actually bad because not just the maritime sector, it's actually everywhere. Racism. So with these few points of mine, I'm just trying to tell you the challenges we face as a marine engineer.
Thank you so much, CJ. You said something. I don't know if we can relate. I, for one, I can relate. There are experiences of captains who have been dropped down just because of their skin color for another man of another skin color to take over their position. So things like this that are happening in the maritime industry. Can you provide a solution briefly on what to do?
Okay, yeah, actually, I'll stand up for this. So it's actually a thing of the mind. It's a mindset to think because the color of your skin makes you inferior or superior to another race. It's actually a very bad thing. So I would like to say that people should actually change their mindsets. I don't know if you work today, they have white HR and black HR. It's very, very appalling, and it's a sad thing to hear that even in Nigeria, we have such kind of companies running such systems. So I would like to appeal to, for a solution, I would say companies should actually make sure that there's adequate refereeism of both whites and black should be on the same level, not placing someone above the other person because of their skin color. Thank you.
The young aspiring mariners out there, we want you to come into marine engineering because we have advocates like CJ who will speak for you. Thank you so much, CJ. Most times, when I tread around areas of like Third Mainland Bridge, I see ships piled around the sea. You know, you see so many ships on the sea. Are they resting or are they relaxing there? Nero, can you please tell us something on port management? Because I believe it's in that sector.
Of course. It's lovely to be here. Now, first off, a port is a place where ships load and offload. Now, over time, the ports have experienced some challenges that it has faced. Now, when we're talking about these challenges, we're talking about port congestion. Now, port congestion can also result to the delay in quick turnaround of ships. We're talking about the lack of qualified or competent personnel. We're talking about the lack of modern facilities on board in the port. And we're also talking about government policies. Now, these policies can have also endangered or been one of the reasons why the port actually faces the challenges. So that's the view I have to say to you today.
Thank you so much, Nero. You mentioned something about turnaround. Can you please explain what turnaround means so that we can get a better understanding, or is it just to like turn around?
No, not really. Now, when we're talking about quick turnaround of ships, we're talking about the process whereby the ships comes in, loads and offloads, then leave, without spending time there to pay more demurrage fee. Because the longer the ship stays in the port, the more demurrage it pays.
So, what can you provide a solution briefly?
Yes. Now the solution I'm going to say, the solution I think or we feel we can do is to make sure the moment the ship comes in the port, it is being attended to so it can leave. Because if it doesn't leave, the longer it stays, the more fee it has to pay. So if the ship can come in, offload and offload, then leave, that will solve one of the problems we have in the port management system.
Thank you so much. The government has a lot to do because these young, aspiring minds will not give up. Over to you, Onome.
Thank you so much, Winnie. That's a very brilliant one. All right. So we're going to do something different. Look, we are going to hear something different. I'm sure everybody is becoming maritime. Now, there's a sector in the maritime industry that we do not know so much about, but it exists. It's a very strong sector. Please, Vicky, do us the honors of expatiating better what aviation industry is all about in the maritime sector. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to be talking about the aviation sector. First of all, I know most of you don't have the knowledge about what aviation is. I will just brief you on that. Aviation is said to be the study of air transport across the globe. It is also the study of city codes, country codes, as well as airline codes of the world in relationship to airline transport and the industry. Now, we all know that the aviation industry is one of the most efficient and organized industry in the world because mistakes are not condoned in the industry. Time and schedule are one of the things that are most effective in this industry. For instance, if a plane is set to depart from Port Harcourt to Lagos, and the governor of Rivers State is on board that, like the governor of Rivers State boarded that aircraft, and is set to depart by 3 o'clock. And by 3 o'clock, the governor is not there at the airport to board that aircraft. The aircraft will leave. That is how organized and efficient the industry is. Like, there is no time to waste. So, I want to talk about the problems. Despite the efficiency of the industry, there are still some problems facing this industry. And I'll give like three of them. First of all, we have lack of modern technological facilities facing the industry. That is one of the most crucial problems, especially in Nigeria, facing the industry. We lack modern facilities. And you know, this is the 21st century. The world is more advanced and technologically advanced. So we need more modern facilities to be able to aid the air transport properly. Secondly, nepotism. Does anyone know what I mean by nepotism? It greatly affects the industry. This is whereby you're being given something, you go for a job interview, and the person there is maybe your friend, your relative, or anybody, and he doesn't even need to interview you, he gives you that job based on the relationship you have. So this really affects the industry because most times you see qualified personnel, graduates on the streets, and they are not able to showcase their skills and talents, but it's being given to people that are not worth it because of the relationship they have with employers. Lastly, I'll talk about mismanagement of funds in the industry. Funds are not properly managed and allocated in this industry, and that is why we lack most technological facilities in the industry.
What is one major solution you have to all of this problem?
Okay, well, one major solution I have, I think we need to, there should be availability of technological.
Please, our software engineers, our computer engineers, our aeronautic engineers, we need your help. The government is watching, Nigeria is watching, the world is watching. We need your help in this industry. So please, it is time to step up and do the needful. Thank you so much for that, Vicky. Quickly, without wasting much time, we've heard of various challenges in insecurity, sexual harassment, and lots more. We will be talking about challenges faced at sea. Most of the challenges we've heard are those faced on land, right? Now we're talking about those faced at sea. Please do us the honors by having Austin to give us more light on challenges faced by
of the most hazardous challenges that occur at any time while at sea, even at the dock. If proper care or attention is not being paid to by ships as a evidence of duty by the crew member on board the ship. 2. Collision. Collision is a process or situation whereby two ships run into each other at sea, thereby causing maybe wreck or sinkage and cause water ingress of the ship. Then thirdly, we have piracy attack. Piracy attack is one of the rising situation being faced by ships at sea. This is our own country, Nigeria, today, because most of our coast guard in Nigeria are not operational. Also, navies and the militaries are not even helping matters when it comes to security of ships in respect to ISPS. So with this, for now, I will hold this for you so that my colleague throw more light on piracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's very good effort. But before you go, we understand that some of these challenges or accidents at sea could be an act of God. We have global warming, we have coral bleaching. What would you say, or how do you think we can manage this act of God if it happens?
Act of God can only be managed by an act of God can only be managed by avoiding it. What is act of God? Act of God is a situation which can never be neglected. It can occur, like for example, tsunami. You can only avoid it. You can't avoid it.
All right, thank you so much. That's a wonderful thing. So I think this is the time where we make use of drones, where we make use of certain facilities that can predict the weather. I'm sure we understand weather forecast. So this would really help manage or understand better when these acts can actually happen. Without wasting much time, I'll hand over to Winnie to take over from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Onome.
You're welcome.
Austin mentioned something about piracy. Piracy has been a very big and controversial issue in the maritime industry today. I believe you agree with me. Are pirates terrorists? Who are pirates? Are they land robbers? Do they come from water? Were they born from water? Junior, can you please tell us piracy issues in the water transport?
Good morning, host.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'll be talking on piracy in the sea transport space. So what is piracy? Piracy looks at criminal activities, theft and stealing in the marine space. The marine space is wide, but the one we'll be looking at now is the sea transport. So moving on, I'll focus more on practical solutions, 21st century solutions to piracy. There's been issues where we have vessels being attacked while trying to enter the Nigerian water space. There's been issues where, because piracy actually happened in the port space too, by wharf rats. We commonly know they're those people that does those ones on the port space as wharf rats. So piracy is very wide. So the solutions are these. From my host, it was said that who are the pirates, right? Who are the pirates? So I want to make us to understand now that the pirates are not just people that pop out from the sea. They're actually people like you and me. They are persons. So for me, I believe pirates are formed in two ways, or they can be of two forms. Those that are born pirates and let me say marine cadets that do not get jobs, but have that understanding of how the marine space, the sea space is run. So like there is the piracy organization there by those that were born into it, and it could actually be boosted by those that don't have job, that have the understanding, and they look into it as, instead of me wasting my time, why not I go into piracy? Because piracy is actually profitable. So I'll just be practical. The government should look at now policing the maritime space more, the sea space. How can they police this? Employ more coast guards. Give them autonomy, give them power, give them authority to operate other than the Nigerian Navy. So that when the ship is in distress, when there is a call for pirate actions to be handled, to be mitigated, those people are ready and are on board to answer those calls. So I believe if this is done by the government, piracy will actually, to a level or to the maximum level, be controlled in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Uncle. You're welcome. Special gratitude to our panelists. I appreciate you guys for being our voice, for being solution providers. We know the government are listening. We know the agencies are listening and are watching. And we appeal to you because we believe that you will answer to our big and call. But don't forget, our Twitter lines are opened, our WhatsApp lines are opened. You can call into our lines and ask questions. Thank you so much.
It's NIMA Reality TV Show. Stay glued on your TV screens.
Your presentation style and your expressions are worthy of commendation. Indeed, it is your first presentation. And within a space of 2 days, you were able to come up with a powerful discourse of this nature. Once again, the captain says, kudos to you all. The presentation took the dimension of a discourse. And not a debate, neither a speech presentation. By the nomenclature of your name, speech, and debate group means you need to focus on that core area. Also remember, it is not a marine group. The topic of discourse must not only center around maritime. Your presentation would have been a perfect one for a marine group if all the topics and issues discussed are to be all about maritime. In view of this, going forward, bear it in mind that you are representing speech and debate group. not marine growth. So the captain expects that you could have picked a conventional issue, a societal issue, and talk about it. The ongoing debate on ASCO strike, whether to call it off or to maintain it, would have been a wonderful debate by both sides of the debatants. But that's not to say you've not done a good work. Once again, a round of applause for yourself.
Them they talk, say, water no get enemy. People wey die inside water. You want fall, stand, you want talk, yan. No go dey make unnecessary demand.